Ante levaviam animam meam, Deus meus, in te confido non erubescam, neque rideant me, inimici mei, et in universi, qui te expectam non confundentur. Vias tuas, Domine, demonstra mihi, et semitas tuas edoce mei. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. A te levaviam animam meam, Deus meus, in te confido non erubescam, neque rideant me, inimici mei, et in universi, qui te expectam non confundentur. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Miserere nostri, Domine, quia peccavimus tibi, ostende nobis, Domine, misericordiam tuum, et salutare tuum da nobis, misereatur nostri omnipotens Deus, et dimissis peccatis nostris, perpurgat nos ad vitam aeternam. Amen. Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison. Oremus. Excita, Domine, potentiam tuam, et magna nobis virtutes succurre, ut quoda nostra peccata prepediunt, gratia Tue propitiationis accedent, per Dominum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, qui te convivit et regnat in unitate Spiritus Sancti Deus, per omnia saecula saeculorum. Amen. A reading from the prophet Isaiah. That day, this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. To guard us, He has set wall and rampart about us. Open the gates, let the upright nation come in. She, the faithful one, whose mind is steadfast, who keeps the peace, because she trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord is the everlasting rock. He has brought low those who lived high up in the steep citadel. He brings it down to the ground, brings it down in the dust. The feet of the lowly, the footsteps of the poor, trample on it. The word of the Lord, thanks be to God. Blessed in the name of the Lord is he who comes. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his love endures forever. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in men. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. Blessed in the name of the Lord is he who comes. Open to me the gates of holiness, I will enter and give thanks. This is the Lord's own gate, where the just may enter. I will thank you, for you have given answer, and you are my Saviour. Blessed in the name of the Lord is he who comes. O Lord, grant us salvation. O Lord, grant success. Blessed in the name of the Lord is he who comes. We bless you from the house of the Lord. The Lord God is our light. Blessed in the name of the Lord is he who comes. Misericordiam tuam, et salutare A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus said to his disciples, "It is not those who say to me, 'Lord, Lord,' who would enter the kingdom of heaven, but the person who does the will of my Father in heaven. Therefore, Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a sensible man who built his house on rock. Rain came down, floods rose, gales blew, and hurled themselves against that house, and it did not fall. It was founded on rock. But everyone who listens to these words of mine and does not act on them will be like a stupid man who built his house on sand. Rain came down, floods rose, gales blew, and struck that house, and it fell. And what a fall it had. The Gospel of the Lord, praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. In the context of praise and worship, it is often glibly said that Jesus is Lord, and yet, if one looks carefully at certain elements of praise and worship, one asks whether actually that is always 100% the case. Let us look at what is happening psychologically in the case of a person engaged in praise and worship, whether it be in a prayer group or in a liturgical context, who actually is not surrendering the will. Is his praise true prayer and worship? Is it worship in spirit and in truth? One case comes specifically to mind. It is that of the celebrant who has an elastic approach to the concrete expression of the will of the one that he is trying to worship. For if one looks at the way in which in the Old Testament every care was given to the concrete execution of the will of God in worship, and compares it with the way in which sometimes in our context we are in charge ourselves of our praise and worship, with often very little reference to the expressed will of the one that we are worshipping, then we need to ask, is our praise pleasing to the one that we are worshipping? One sees quite often, unfortunately, celebrations of the official praise and worship of the Church in which the official praise and worship of the Church is not happening, but our own. In practice, psychologically, there is a lie being expressed. When one reads calmly the expression of the divine will, given in all clarity in the general instruction to the Missal and in the individual rubrics in the course of its celebration, when one looks at that and sees how much at variance the execution thereof often is, one actually asks the question, is the will actually in worship mode? For logically, the question must be asked, how can it be if the will at the moment of trying to please the one that it is worshipping, then if that person's lordship and majesty is actually being disowned in favour of our own, then he is not Lord, we are. And so this word applies to us. Why do you call me Lord and do not do what I command you?
So the first attitude of the worshipper is humility. And if we participate in the original sin of disobedience and pride of Lucifer, then he is contaminating our worship. And by that very fact, the Lord is not free to bless. And our assemblies will be eroded. If one looks around, one sees churches which are not concretely doing the will of the one being worshipped are not as blessed as they might be, whereas others are. It is in there for our own interest to realize that worship is not our own affair. But if we are in creaturely mode, we do adore on the level of the will, the Creator, and not in some way take possession of Him. And worse still, use His spot of praise to draw attention to ourselves, and rather than humbly adore, sit back and receive the applause.
Deus meus, in te confido, non erubescam, nec videant me, inimici mei, et enim universi quid expectant, non confundentur. Suscipiat Dominus sacrificium de manibus meis, ad laudem et gloriam Domini sum, ad utilitatem quoque nostrum, totiusque ecclesiae sui sancti. Suscipique sumus Domini munera, quae de tuis offerimus conata beneficiis, et quod nostre devotioni concedis effici temporali, Tue nobis fiat premium redemptionis aeternam, per Christum Dominum nostrum. Amen. Sum corda, habemus ad Dominum, gratias agamus Domino Deo nostro, dignum et justum est, vere dignum et justum est, ecum et salutare, nos tibi semper et ubique gratias agere, Domine Sancte Pater, omnipotens aeterne Deus, per Christum Dominum nostrum, qui primo adventu in humilitate carnis assumpte, dispositionis antiquae munus implevit, nobisque salutis perpetue tramitem reseravit, ut cum secundo venerit in sue gloriae majestatis, manifesto Deum munere capiamus, quod vigilantes nunc audemus expectare promissum, et idea cum angelis et archangelis, cum tronis et dominationibus, cumque omni militia celestis exercitus, hymnum gloriae Tuae canimus, sine fine dicentes, Sanctus, Sanctus, Sanctus Dominus Deus Sabaoth, pleni sunt caeli et terra, gloria Tua, Hosanna in excelsis, benedictus qui venit in nomine Domini, Hosanna in excelsis. Pere Sanctus est Domine, ans omnis sanctitatis. Ec ergo donaque sumus, Spiritus Tui errore sanctificat, ut nobis et corpus et sanguis fiant, Domini nostri Iesu Christi, qui cum passioni voluntariet aderetur, accepit panem, et gratias agens pregit, deditque discipulis suis dicens. Accipite et manducate ex hoc omnes, hoc est enim corpus meum, quod pro vobis tradetur. Simili modo postquam cenatum est, accipiens et calicem, iterum gratias agens, dedit discipulis suis dicens. Accipite et bibite ex eo omnes, hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, novi et aeterni testamenti, qui pro vobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, hoc facite in meam commemorationem. Mysterium fidei. Salvator mundi salvanos, qui per crucem et resurrectionem tuam liberasti nos. Memoris dicitur mortis et resurrectionis eius, tibi Domine panem vitae, et calicem salutis oferimus. Gratias agentes, quia nos dignos abuisti, a stare coram te, et tibi ministrare. Et supplices te precamur, ut corporis et sanguinis Christi participes, a Spiritu Sancto congregemur in unum. Recordare Domine ecclesiae tue, tota orbi diffuse, ut eam in caritate perficias, nacum Papa nostro Francisco, et Episcopo nostro Michael, et universo clero. Memento etiam fratrum nostrorum, qui in spe resurrectionis dormierunt, omniumque in tua miseratione defunctor, et eius in lumen vultus tui admitte. Omnium nostrum que sumus miserere, ut cum beata Dei Genitrice Virgine Maria, beato Iosef eius sponso, beatis apostolis et omnibus sanctis, qui tibi a saeculo placuerunt, aeterni vitae mereamur esse consortes, et te laudemus et glorificemus per Filium tuum Iesum Christum. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso est tibi Deo Patri omnipotenti, in unitate Spiritus Sancti, omnis honor et gloria, per omnia saecula saeculorum. Amen. Precepti salutaribus moniti, et divina institutione formati, audemus dicere. Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostrum, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Libera nos que sumus Domini ab omnibus malis, da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae Tui adiuti, et a peccatosimus semper liberi, et ab omni perturbatione securium, expectantes beatam spem, et adventum Salvatoris nostri Iesu Christi, quia tuum est regnum et potestas, et gloria in saecula. Domine Iesu Christe, qui dixisti apostolis tuis, pacem redinquo vobis, pacem meam do vobis, ne respicias peccata nostra, sed fidem ecclesiae tui, iamque secundum voluntatem tuam, pacificare et coadunare dinieris, qui vivis et regnas in saecula saeculorum. Amen. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, dona nobis pacem. Domine, non sum dignus ut intre subtectum meum, sed tantum dic verbo, et sanabitur anima mea. Dominus Dominem benedictatem Dominus David benedictatem et terra nostra David fructum suum. Oremus. Prosit nobis que sumus Domine, frequentata mysterii, quibus nos interrepere uncia ambulantes, iam nunc instituis amare celestia, et inerere mansunis, per Christum Dominum nostrum. Amen. He is Lord, He is Lord, He is risen from the dead, and He is Lord. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. He is Lord, He is Lord. He is risen from the dead, and He is Lord. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is the Lord.